A well-maintained Japanese inline-four from the 1980s will hit 150,000 miles before it needs a top-end rebuild. A Ducati L-twin from the same era needs valve work every 6,000 miles and a full belt service every 12,000 or it grenades itself. That's not a stereotype, that's just how these engines were designed. Japanese builders engineered for owners who never opened the toolbox. European builders engineered for performance first and assumed you'd pay a mechanic. Here's exactly why one type runs forever and the other doesn't. The tolerances are completely different. Most riders think Japanese and European engines are basically the same with different badges. The reality is the exact opposite. Japanese manufacturers like Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Kawasaki build their engines with looser internal tolerances on purpose. A Honda CB 750 piston-to-cylinder clearance is around 0.0015 to 0.002 inches. A Ducati 900 SS from the same era runs about 0.0008 inches. That tighter European clearance makes more power and feels sharper at high RPM. But it also means the engine is less forgiving of cheap oil, skipped oil changes, or running it hard before it warms up. A Honda will tolerate 10,000 miles between oil changes and still be fine. Try that on a Ducati and you'll be shopping for new pistons. The impact on you is simple. If you ride a CB, a KZ, or any Yamaha XJ series bike, you can be lazy about maintenance and the engine forgives you. If you ride anything from Bologna or Borgo Panigale, you cannot. Valve adjustment is where it gets brutal. Here's where European engines bleed your wallet. Most Japanese bikes from the 80S onward use shim under bucket or screw and lock nut valve adjustment. On a Yamaha FZ6, FZ1, or any Honda CB, you check valves every 16,000 miles, and most of the time they don't even need adjusting. A shop will charge you $150 to $250 for the inspection. Now look at a Ducati with desmodromic valves. Every 6,000 miles on the older air-cooled twins, every 7,500 to 15,000 on the newer Testastretta motors. A Desmo service runs $800 to $1,500 at a dealer, and that's just for the valve check. If shims need replacing and on opening rockers, they often do, you're looking at $1,800 to $2,500. BMW Boxers are somewhere in the middle. Airhead valve adjustments are 6,000-mile intervals, but you can do it yourself in 30 minutes with feeler gauges. The newer hex heads stretch that to 12,000 miles. KTM LC8 V-twins need valve checks every 9,000 miles, and the labor is brutal because you have to drop the engine. The cooling philosophy. This next one is something almost every rider misses. Japanese manufacturers spent decades perfecting air cooling, and then when they switched to liquid cooling in the late 80s, they over-engineered the radiators by about 30%. A Honda CBR 600 F4 radiator can handle hour-long traffic jams in 95-degree heat without breaking a sweat. European builders, especially Italian ones, size their cooling systems for the racetrack first and the street second. A Ducati 916 from 1,994 runs hot in stop-and-go traffic like 230 degrees Fahrenheit hot. That heat cycles every gasket, every seal, and every rubber hose harder. It's why you see 30,000-mile Ducatis with weeping head gaskets, while 80,000-mile Honda VFRs are bone dry. If you live somewhere with real summer heat, this matters. If you commute through traffic on a 90S or early 2000s Italian bike, you need to add an oil cooler or a thermofan upgrade, or you will cook the engine over time. Electrical systems are a different universe. If you've been riding more than 5 years, this one is definitely about you. Japanese electrical systems are simple, redundant, and built to outlast the bike. The stator on a 1,985 Kawasaki KZ 650 produces around 180 watts and uses thick copper windings that resist heat damage. Replace your battery every 5 years and the system runs forever. European electrical systems, particularly anything Italian or pre-2000 British, are infamous for a reason. Lucas Electrics on old Triumphs riders literally call them Prince of Darkness. Italian wiring harnesses use thinner gauge wire and ground points that corrode in 5 years. A 1990s Moto Guzzi will eat regulator rectifiers every 25,000 miles. A 90s Ducati 900 SS regulator costs $180 to replace and is a known weak point. BMW is the European exception here. Their electrical systems on airheads and oil heads are German-engineered tanks. Main harnesses routinely last 40 years. But Italian and old British electrics will drain your bank account if you don't replace the weak components proactively. Now forget everything I just said for a second. European engines have one massive advantage. Japanese engines don't, and it's the reason people keep buying them. Character. A Ducati L-twin pulls from 3,000 revolutions per minute with torque that no inline-four can match. A KTM 1290 V-twin makes 160 horsepower and feels like a freight train. A BMW Boxer has a low center of gravity that makes it handle in ways no Japanese cruiser can match. Japanese engines, especially inline-fours, are smooth and reliable, but they're often described as appliance-like. A Honda CBR 1000RR will outlive a Panigale V4 by 50,000 miles. But the Panigale will make you smile harder every single ride. So the question isn't really which is better, it's what you actually want from the bike. The parts problem nobody talks about. Here's where Japanese engines pull permanently ahead. A water pump for a 2005 Honda VFR 800 costs $140. The same part for a 2005 Ducati ST3 costs $380. A clutch slave cylinder for a Yamaha FZ1 is $90. For an Aprilia Tuono of the same year, it's $260. Multiply that across every wear part on the bike: brake pads, calipers, master cylinders, fork seals, steering bearings, and over 10 years of ownership, you'll spend roughly 2 to 3 times more maintaining a European bike than a Japanese one. That's not opinion. Pull up Revzilla, Partzilla, and AF1 Racing and price the same wear items across brands. The numbers don't lie. The Japanese parts ecosystem is also massive. Almost every part on a Suzuki GSX-R has aftermarket alternatives at half the OEM price. Try finding aftermarket parts for an MV Agusta. There's basically one supplier and they price accordingly. The maintenance culture is the real difference. This is the one that costs riders the most money. Japanese engines are designed assuming the owner is going to neglect them. Honda specifically engineered the CB and CBR series so that even riders who skip an oil change wouldn't kill the engine. The cam chain tensioners are automatic. The carburetor jets are forgiving. The valve clearances are wide enough that a slightly tight valve won't burn. European engines are designed assuming the owner follows the manual to the letter. Skip a Ducati belt service at 12,000 miles, and the belt snaps, the valves crash into the pistons, and you're looking at $4,000 to $6,000 in repairs. Run synthetic oil that's even slightly wrong on a BMW Boxer, and you'll get top-end noise within 3,000 miles. Italian bikes especially punish neglect fast. So if you're a rider who actually changes oil on schedule, checks valves when the manual says to, and uses the specified fluids, a European bike will reward you. If you're a ride it till it makes a noise rider, stick with Japanese and your bike will quietly tolerate you for decades. Remember the 150,000-mile Japanese inline-four versus the 6,000-mile Ducati valve service? That's not because one is better than the other, it's because they were built with completely different assumptions about who would own them. Japanese engines were built for the masses. European engines were built for enthusiasts who treat them right. Here's the one takeaway. Pick the engine that matches your maintenance habits, not your fantasy. If you wrench on your bike every weekend, a European engine will pay you back in soul. If you just want to ride and forget, the Japanese stuff was literally engineered for you. Either choice is right, just don't pick the wrong one for who you actually are.